Well, the first session of the 44th Parliament began about a week or so ago in Ottawa. Hi there, I'm Eddie Matthews from the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce, and we wanted to check in on how the first week was and what to look forward to in the next session. So pleased to be joined by our Perth Wellington MP, John Nater. Hello, John.
Hello, Eddie. How are you doing?
I'm terrific. Good to talk to you, and I'm interested in finding out how the first week was.
Well, it was a busy first week. So the first week back is almost like the first week of school. It's learning the ropes and getting back into to the routine after almost 6 months out of it. So it was a busy week. Obviously, the first thing we did was elect a new Speaker of the House of Commons, and that takes up a day in itself. And then the next day was a speech from the throne. So that was kind of the bulk of the week. Obviously, the speech from the throne is the government's priorities, the government's document that they want to see implemented over the next little while here in Parliament. So that's what they've been putting forward, and then we as an opposition are taking our time to debate it, to look at it, and see what we can support, see what we can't support, and to make some suggestions of other priorities that we might want to see going forward for this session of Parliament.
Before we get into that, do you feel more like a veteran now that you've been up there and seeing Parliament through the eyes of the rookie MPs that are there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've been here 6 years now, which I like to say time flies. It feels like yesterday I was walking into the House of Commons for the first time, and here we are, 3 elections now, onto my third Parliament, our third session of Parliament. So it's, I guess I feel like the grizzled veteran now, and beginning to see the wrinkles and the gray hair to prove it too. But it is fascinating, and talking with new colleagues who are entering it for the first time and comparing notes of how it felt 6 years ago today, and confirming to them that it's still exciting every time to walk into the House of Commons, whether it's the first time or the sixth year of doing so. It is exciting, and being able to take on a little bit of a helping role with some of our new colleagues to help them learn the ropes, even if it's as simple as pointing out where the bathrooms are and where to get a cup of coffee on Parliament Hill. It's a lot of fun.
Do you still remember the first time you got to stand in Parliament and ask a question?
Oh, I do, and it's my knees still shake a little bit every time I stand. But that first time, I was sure glad there was a desk in front of me so that no one could see my knees shaking and the nervousness with asking that first question. The first question I asked was on the very first day of Parliament. It was the address and reply to the speech from the throne. So literally within about 20 minutes of Parliament opening, I was tapped to get up and ask my first question. And it was on agriculture and the Trans-Pacific Partnership at the time, and boy, was it nerve-wracking, but I was glad I was able to do that, and I was able to now share that story with other new colleagues who need a bit of encouragement for that first time getting up.
That's funny. So after the speech from the throne, is there one in particular that the Conservatives are looking at and saying this is what we need to address? Especially there's so much on the plate right now, whether it be inflation, just trying to get past COVID, and now we've got a new variant out there. So I'm sure there's a lot to choose from.
Oh, absolutely, Eddie. I mean, we could probably do a list a mile long of the different priorities that we're going to have to see addressed at some point during this Parliament. I think you hit the nail on the head with inflation. I think that's the biggest concern that we're hearing. We started hearing it over the summer and then certainly during the election campaign, but the cost of everything is going up and going up quickly and substantially. We look at the cost of housing, in our area, in Stratford and Perth County, we're seeing, huge increases from just a year and a half, 2 years ago, and that's not sustainable for families, for young people trying to get into the housing market. We're seeing the same thing now happening with groceries, with essential day-to-day items that people need to survive. So that's having a huge impact, but it's especially having an impact on lowest income working Canadians, who obviously spend more of their money on essentials on a daily basis. So groceries and things that you need to survive. So I mean, first and foremost, we need to get that cost of living crisis in hand. We need to see a clear plan going forward so that happens. I mean, obviously, the pandemic's still with us. There are new variants, and we see the impact that it has on hardest hit sectors. And I mean, again, we've been talking about this for, since day one of the pandemic. Perth County, Stratford, our communities are ground zero for the arts, culture, tourism sectors. And those are the sectors that were impacted the hardest and are going to be the longest and the slowest to recover. So we need to make sure that we're able to be there for those sectors going forward, so that they do survive, that they can see the other side of the pandemic and still be there, with gusto,
Yeah.
after this is all done.
One thing that I'm hearing, and I don't know if you're hearing the same thing from many business owners, not only in Stratford, but around the area, is they all seem to be saying the same thing. They're predicting it's going to be a long, long winter ahead.
Absolutely. I'm hearing the exact same thing, Eddie. So for so many businesses, they make their money, they make their profits during the nice weather months, during the summer months, and then they have a cold, hard winter where they anticipate, they get ready, they're prepared for the spring when they can be back open full capacity, and just out there doing their thing. And unfortunately, there wasn't that good summer. There wasn't that ability to get things back on track. And talking to different business owners, both locally, but also the different organizations that do so much to support small businesses. We hear heartbreaking stories about family businesses that have been sometimes for decades operating in our communities, and unfortunately have taken on such a high debt load over the last almost 2 years now, that they just don't see a way to get out from it. And that's a huge concern I have, that these are cornerstones in our communities. They're the foundation of our local economy, and they're always ones, they're the first ones there to help out with community events, the first one there to support a children's soccer team or a baseball team. They're always there giving back to the community. And now they're just in this really tough challenge. And we'll obviously, you're always out there, Eddie, supporting our local businesses, and I'd echo that as well. Shop local, drink local, eat local, do what you can local, because those are the businesses that will be there for you and the community at the end of the day. So let's support them now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, with your own MP duties, you've got duties now as the Shadow Minister for Canadian Heritage. Explain what that's all about.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, shadow minister, as the name somewhat implies, I shadow the Minister of Canadian Heritage. So I'm his chief critic in the House of Commons. But I say critic in the broad sense. I do try to be a collaborative actor, collaborative approach to the House of Commons. So I don't think you'll see me lighting my hair on fire too much, but I will try to do things in a constructive way. The Heritage Department is a massive government portfolio, and obviously a strong connection to Perth County, to Perth Wellington, obviously with Stratford Festival, Summer Music, Spring Works, the Baseball Hall of Fame, Drayton Entertainment, a huge cultural artistic base here in Perth County, here in Perth Wellington. But there's also the burgeoning area of online that also falls into the heritage portfolio. So the Broadcasting Act, bringing it up to date for the now the third decade of the 21st century, and some of the challenges that happened with that, those pieces of legislation in the previous parliament. I'm now tapped with the opposition response to those bills, ensuring that we can bring these bills into the 21st century, but at the same time protecting the fundamental rights of Canadians for free speech, free expression, but also making sure that hate speech, online incitement to violence, are clearly clamped down on. The criminal code is there to deal with those who would break the law.
And with that in mind, you bring up a good point, just with free speech and that sort of thing. Are you concerned that the message may be lost just because of what's going on with the Conservative Party right now, with the vaccine issue that's dogging Erin O'Toole right now? Do you see any problems where the Liberals, the government, may be centering in on that issue with the Conservatives right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So our priority has to be, Canadians, has to be, getting through the COVID-19 pandemic, making sure the economy is strong, addressing the cost of living, and the more time that, the politicization of vaccines and vaccinations, every time that gets politicized, I think it diverts attention from the real priority. So again, I'll say again and again, anyone out there who has any hesitancy, who has concerns, who has questions about the vaccine, and it's normal to have questions. It's normal to have questions when something like this happens. But those questions, talk to your healthcare provider. Talk to your family doctor, talk to a healthcare professional who has the facts, who has your health background, and can advise you going forward. Those are the people who are there looking out for your own health, your own well-being. So please, if you have questions, if you have concern, if you're hesitant about the vaccines, talk to your family doctor. They're the ones you trust your health to. Trust them with this as well. They're the ones who know what's going on.
And we should let everybody know too, John's had both shots, so we'll leave it at that too.
Absolutely. Pfizer times 2.
There you go. Before we let you go, how can people get in touch if they've got any concerns? And I know people have got a lot of questions. You got a great staff. How can we get a hold of them?
Yeah, absolutely. So don't ever hesitate to give me a shout by phone, 519-273-1400, 1400. Give my office a call or send us an email, go online. I'll give you my website rather than spelling out the email address, but it's nater.ca, nater.ca. Our contact information is there. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. If there's anything we can assist on, we'll be there to help. And if it's not something that our office might not be able to help, we'll try to find someone who can help you out as well, if it's another level of government as well.
Hey, John, Merry Christmas to you and the family, and hopefully we'll see you over the holidays, okay?
Thank you so much, Eddie. Merry Christmas to you and Lori, and to all your viewers as well. I hope everyone has a safe, healthy, and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas and all the best for 2022.
Perth Wellington MP John Nater joining us today. I'm Eddie Matthews for the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce.